fracturing or fracking was the cure-all solution for America to start improving its environment without ruining its economy. With the new natural gas mining technique, the government started shutting down coal mines and replacing them with the natural gas mines. No one knew that these natural gas mines were going to be worse than coal mines, though. Now more people are learning that fracking has its flaws and is doing more damage than good. Today, Heather and I are going to talk about what hydraulic fracturing is and what its flaws are, including frac sand mining, water contamination, and its contribution to the greenhouse effect. Before we talk about these different flaws of fracking, I am going to explain the process itself. Fracking was originally part of a vertical drilling process of underground layers of shale, a type of rock that contains pockets of natural gas, according to the 2014 academic report, Shale Gas and Hydraulic Fracturing by Hoffman, Olsen, and Lindstrom. The goal is to shatter the shale formations to release these pockets of natural gas trapped within. Hoffman, Olsen, and Lindstrom further explain that new technology today has allowed for horizontal drilling, the ability for a vertical drill to turn 90 degrees and keep drilling within a layer. This new technique, combined with the technique of fracking, has produced a natural gas rush in America. The process of hydraulic fracturing is used to create cracks or widen existing cracks by pumping a mixture of water, silica sand, and chemicals under very high pressure. One of the main ingredients used in fracking is silica sand, which is now being mined in large demand. In a 2017 interview with my aunt Lisa Norberg, a Wisconsin resident, I learned that frac sand mining in Wisconsin is causing infertile land, a decline in property value, the danger of a lung disease caused by silica dust, and the destruction of rural towns. Lisa's husband, Brian Norberg, was trying to stop a frac sand mining company from receiving his rural county's land. He felt completely defeated that he couldn't protect the community from them moving in and destroying our lives, says Lisa. Brian died of a heart attack less than a day later, which my aunt believes was the result of stress caused by the conflict. Many other people are being affected by frac sand mining and fracking, such as through water pollution.
The process of hydraulic fracturing also really pollutes the water supply. When they're fracturing, they use high amounts of water, and they also mix in chemicals to create extreme pressure, and that's what fractures the rock, and it releases all the trapped gas. During this process, obviously the water blows back out of where they're fracturing, and it causes all that water with their chemicals that they injected, plus natural chemicals in the earth like brines, metal, and hydrocarbons to come back out. When the water comes back out, it's supposed to be placed in pits or holding tanks. The pits are supposed to be lined so none of the harmful chemicals seep back into the ground. The problem is a lot of times the liners will have holes or rips, or the pits will just get too full and they'll leak over into the ground. It kind of reminds me of the movie Erin Brockovich, where they weren't putting the proper liners in their water holding pits and it was leaking into the ground and causing cancers on people. It seems kind of be like that kind of situation, just different type of chemicals. It also causes a lot of problems with the atmosphere. When you're fracturing the rock formations, shale gas is released. The shale gas can cause significant amount of methane to be pushed into the atmosphere. It can be 100 times greater than the carbon dioxide that comes out when they're doing things such as coal mining or burnings of coal, traditional mining. So although fracturing is supposed to be a new thing in creating natural gas that's better for our environment and safer, they actually don't know if it is. And since fracturing is so new, there's not a lot that the EPA has done to take steps to reduce the amount of methane that's released. They're supposed to be venting the gases in the blowback and during the drilling stage, but a lot hasn't been done for that yet, and they don't know really how much is going back. What they do catch is supposed to be sold or re-injected into the ground, but that's not really always that safe. And when they're actually drilling before they hit the rock formation, there's nothing being done to catch the methane that's coming out then. So there's a lot going into the atmosphere that really shouldn't be going into the atmosphere. So hydraulic fracturing is a process of drilling into a rock formation, and it creates natural gas, which is supposed to give us a cleaner fuel option than like coal mining does, but it creates a lot of issues with water in the atmosphere, and we don't know what's going to cause this. So the new age use of this natural gas, it impacts the environment, land, and people, and it's just not worth the newfound mining that we found. As more time goes on, it's starting to show the negative impacts as we find out more of what happens during this process, and it's causing our planet to have more breakdown than it needs to have. And it's something that we need to think about in our future, and maybe hydraulic fracturing isn't the best and we shouldn't do it anymore. It's something we should look at, like we found out how many years later coal mining isn't good. We should probably look at this now before we create more harm than good.